So this is angles of rotation. It's a fancy way of saying here's different ways that we can graph it and represent what the degree actually is. Okay? So if you remember what I told you before is that a circle has 360 degrees. But how do you know where to start? How do you know where to end? If you look at the x-axis, you're always going to start here at 0, and you're going to go this way. And if you go this way, that makes an L. At here, you're at 90 degrees. Let me zoom that in a little bit. And then if you kept going, here you're at 180 degrees. And then if you keep going at another 90, you're at 270 degrees. And if you keep going, you're at 360 degrees. So this represents 0 to 360. So in a sense, this line is 0 or 360 degrees, depending if it's your start or your end. Now, if that's going the positive way, the negative way is this is 0. Then if I go this way, this is negative 90 because it's backwards, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. So sometimes I'm going to give you the positive degree, which means you'll go this way. Sometimes I'll give you the negative degree and you're going to go this way. Okay? And we'll get there. Let's just go through it. Okay? So the first thing they want you to do is draw the angle in standard position. Especially when I'm first starting out, it is easiest for me to label these because then I can better see where it's going to be. It's positive, so if it's positive, it's going to go this way, right? So 210 degrees, it's not between 0 and 90. It's not between 90 and 180. It's between 180 and 270. So I'm going to take this, I'll pick blue. And I'm going to graph it. It's okay, I'm faking it. And we're going to go like it's from here to here, and we're going to say that's 210 degrees. I just graphed that in standard form, standard position. Okay? Now let's look at the next one. This is 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. The problem is, what is that? It's 1,020. So that means I'm going to have to go around 360, but I'm not there yet. And then I'm going to have to go around another 360. So I'm at 360 and 360, which means now I'm at 720, right? And if I do another 360, I'm at 1080. So it's not quite there, is it? And so you go, well, then how do I see what it is? Well, what might be easier is to take out those 360s, because once we make it back around, we're at the start again. Once we make it back around, we're at the start again. So for me, what I think the easiest thing to do is take my number 1020 and subtract out my 360s. So because I could see there were two 360s, I'm going to go 720, and that would be 300 degrees. So really, 1020 is equivalent to 300 degrees. Okay? If you're ever in a race, sometimes you're like, well, I can go around this many times. Well, I can go around this time. Well, you still start and end in the same place. So 300 degrees is between 270 and 360. So I'll go like this. Start here. Go like this. And I'm okay if you write 300 degrees. I'm okay if you write 1020. Just show your work. Okay. All right. The next one. This time, okay, so this time instead of going 0, 90, 180, 270, I'm going 0, negative 90, negative 180, negative 270, negative 360. So instead of going left, I'm going to go here, and it's somewhere here. Now, I don't like living in negative world. I like living in positive world. So this is my preference. I don't want you to go like this and go negative 300. I would rather you tell me the positive. So I'd rather you, in a sense, going negative, I would rather you be positive. So 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So how are you going to figure out? It's between 0 and 90. How are you going to figure out what it is? Well, do you agree that if I go this way, it's the same thing as going this way? Well, how many total degrees is that? 360. So if I go 360 minus 300, I get 60 degrees. So instead of going in the negative, I would rather you exist in the positive. Some teachers are happy in negative world. It doesn't mean they're negative people. I just want you to see that negative 300 and 600 are the same thing. If I have a clock, I don't even know if you guys look at clocks anymore. You know, there's 12, 3, 6, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, 11. So some of you can be like, oh, it's 3 o'clock, because that's the positive way. But honestly, I could be annoying and be like, no, it's not 3 o'clock. It's negative 9 o'clock. So you go like this, 9, a distance of 9. Okay, same thing. 3 plus 9 is 12. It's the total distance. Okay, so now let's look at number 4. Number 4 is living in a negative world. Do you think I want to live in a negative world? I choose not to as much as possible. So what can I do? I can subtract 360. And I get 5, 2, 100, 225. Know how to subtract. And I get 225. So for my own sanity, until I'm really good, I'm going to write this. It makes it easier for my brain, less thinking. 225 is somewhere over here. Let's live in positive world and put 225 degrees. Okay. So these are things we just want to make sure we're working on. So if I ask you to put something in standard position, this is what you'll do. Standard position. And I do like when you use a positive. Now, coterminal. Coterminal kind of goes along with what we did. It means that if I give you a positive, I want the negative. If I give you a negative, I want the positive equivalent. Technically, negative 300 and 600 or 60 are coterminal. Negative 135 and 225 are coterminal. So that means I need to be thinking of 360 degrees. So if I ask for the coterminal angle of 88 degrees, I'm asking for the negative version because this one's positive. So I subtract 360, and my brain is not feeling very smart right now, so hold on. Some of you already got it. Okay, and I get negative 272, and that's my answer. Okay, this is the positive, but I want the negative. Well, so I subtract 360. Well, the problem is I still get a positive. So that is equivalent to that. But if I want the coterminal, I've got to subtract 360. And so the coterminal equivalent is negative 220. Okay? All right. I have the negative. That means I want the positive. Subtract 240. I should be doing that in plus. Okay? This is the positive. I want the negative, so I subtract 360. 565 degrees. Negative. And that's coterminal. It's just, I don't think necessarily it's difficult. I think what's difficult is knowing what the word represents. Okay? So when you see standard position, that's the blue, which I got there. When you see coterminal, if I give you positive, I want the negative. If you have the negative, I want the positive. All right, reference angle. You will use the reference angle the most. Okay? The most. And I want you to know it's all based on, and I want you to write this down because you're going to go, I got it. And then you're going to forget. It's all based on the x-axis. So if I have an x and a y-axis, it's based on the x-axis. So when I ask you for a reference, I'm saying go back to somebody that you know that can talk about you. So the reference is your x-axis. Always go back there to there. Okay? So I'm going to draw this. 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. Until you've got that down and you don't need to write it, just write it. It took me like 5 seconds. You complain about it longer than you would to just get the answer. So the first thing I do is I put it in standard position. So that means that's 105 degrees. So I know it's over there. Not perfect, I agree. Now I need to find the reference angle. Now the reference angle has to do with the x-axis. So I find the side of the x-axis that is closest to 105. If I had to go way over here, that's kind of far. But this 180 is the closest to that. So I'm going to use that to figure out the reference angle. And I need to figure out the distance between 180 and 105. So I'm going to go 180 minus 105, which is 75 degrees. That is my reference angle. Okay? All right, let's do the next one. Now, I have a problem with this one. What's my problem with this one? I don't like the negative, so I find the coterminal by adding 360. And really, that means my angle is 5. Here, I'll put it up here. 552, 255. Did I do that right? I'm not feeling, nope, 245. I knew that didn't feel right. So now I have 245. 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. So 245 is somewhere over here. And I'm going to go 245. Now, my reference angle is based on the x-axis. So, do I look at the 270? No, it's not the reference I go to. So I go to here. I want to find the distance between here and here. When you find distance between things, you subtract the difference. So 245 minus 180, 565 degrees. It'll always be less than 90 because the distance from here to here is only 90 degrees. All right, let's do this one. So this one, 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. All right, 310. It's positive. It's less than 360. I like it. It's over here, 310. Okay, what do I look at? What's closest to the x-axis? Well, shoot. Is it closer, is it the 0 or the 360? What do you think? Yeah, the 360, because 360 is actually closer to the number 310 than 0. So 360 minus 310 is 50 degrees. Last one. Uh-oh, I don't like it. I have to find the coterminal. So I add 360. And I get 265. And then now I graph it. X-axis. 265 is over here. 265. What's closest to 265? 180. Find the distance from 265 to 180. 265 minus 180 is 85 degrees. Okay? And that's the definition for angles of rotation, standard position, coterminal, and reference angle.